Right. Somebody was asking what I meant by being more Christ-like and if that was a good idea. I think what the problem is with people, the general persons or the common person's understanding of Christianity is their view is very narrow. Christianity ultimately is a system of attainment similar to Buddhism, except instead of seeking enlightenment, one is seeking to achieve immortality. So you have to think in a slightly more metaphorical means. But also what people don't understand is Christianity is not so much a belief system, or it's not a religion of belief, but a religion of action. My grandfather was an Episcopal minister, so I was lucky enough to have somebody that understood Christianity. And prior to being an Episcopal minister, he was raised in the Mormon religion. So I was lucky enough to have somebody that understood Christianity as a mode of action. The direction that I see that needs to be put towards science, as for transhumanism, is to alleviate human suffering and to achieve a state of God-man. Now, Superman, the Superman under cosmotheism, is not somebody that obeys ethical codes as the human, but that seeks to understand nature through science and the humanities, and then apply that knowledge to the achievement of godhood and to lift up humanity. Remember that Jesus' goal was to lift up humanity. Okay, now I do not promote the belief in supernaturalism. When I'm talking about Christianity or Jesus, I'm not talking about Christianity as a system of faith, and I'm not talking about Jesus as some dude that died 2,000 years ago. I'm talking about Christianity as is embodied by the living philosophy of Christianity. As you see, the seven deadly sins are actually a means of self-regulation that do not have to do with the Bible. They have to do more with Catholicism. And even Benjamin Franklin, I'll get into that later, of course, but Ben Franklin wrote something about that, how to achieve mastery of oneself. Christianity is, in fact, a series of exercises and action to achieve mastery of oneself. Mastery of oneself must be attained prior to our ability to attain self-deification. Pantheism is what I promote. As I have said almost in every video I've dealt with religion, I promote scientific pantheism. I believe that the structure of Christianity is required for pantheism to have a direction and not simply fizzle out. This is where I believe that Pierre Teilhard de Chardin is superior to people like Dr. Pierce's, or even Ben Clausen. People need to understand that I'm not promoting supernaturalism. I will have to make a third video dealing with this, but what I want to explain though is I do not believe the emulation of Christ as a man is what we seek, but the emulation of Christ as a symbol of self-deification and godhood, and a symbol of lifting humanity up from the damnation of material existence to a higher level of being, is the direction that we should seek through what I would call a, not quite Chardinian, but the next stage of the evolution of the ideology that is Christianity. And it would no longer be called Christianity per se. People need to read Chardin. People need to seek to understand things the way they are. I highly recommend a book, Rediscovering Catholicism. People do not understand that Catholicism is very similar to Hermeticism. In fact, Christianity and Hermeticism are very similar to one another. Gnosticism and Christianity are very similar to one another. It's just people have a very narrow understanding of Christianity for lack of anything else. It's simply because of intellectual laziness. They don't seek to understand any deeper than what they've learned in church.